It began not with a single shot, but with a silent, cascading failure. On a day much like today, the world held its breath. Tensions simmered for years, alliances frayed, and hope faded from diplomatic halls. The first signs were subtle. Stock markets flickered, power grids faltered. Then a border skirmish spiraled, alliances triggered, and the machinery of war roared to life. This was not a war of trenches, but of algorithms and invisible signals. Coders and hackers became the new generals, targeting the nervous system of modern society. The illusion of safety shattered. Our interconnected world became our greatest vulnerability. There were no grand declarations, just confusion, panic, and the chilling realization that the systems we depended on were falling apart. Families gathered around screens, watching the familiar dissolve into chaos. The promise of a global village gave way to division and dread. The day the world changed forever arrived not with a bang, but with the silence of systems failing, one by one. The dawn of this new era was terrifyingly quiet. The first true casualty was the light, not sunlight, but the digital glow that powered our lives. Cyber warfare struck first, dismantling financial systems, utilities, and communication networks. Satellites fell silent, GPS vanished, and the world grew suddenly vast and disconnected. For most, the digital collapse was a terrifying awakening. No internet, no phones, no access to money. Information slowed to rumors. People were cut off from loved ones, trust began to fray. Without digital records, ownership and identity blurred. Governments, crippled by chaos, struggled to maintain control. The silence was unnerving. No notifications, no news, only uncertainty. The digital darkness was a weapon, severing the connections that bound us. Every citizen became a casualty of confusion. The hum of the digital age was gone, replaced by fear. Coordination vanished. Communities were isolated overnight. The world was thrown back into a pre-digital age, but with the chaos of a society built on vanished systems. The initial phase of war was not about territory, but about creating maximum chaos. The digital darkness proved more effective than any bomb. With the digital world in ruins, the physical world soon followed. Global supply chains collapsed, ports shut, cargo grounded, trade halted. Supermarket shelves emptied, rationing and shortages became the new reality. Medicines and spare parts vanished, hospitals and water plants faltered. The just-in-time system had no backup. The economic fallout was apocalyptic. Currencies became worthless, savings evaporated, and the global economy fractured into local barter. No country was spared. The collapse of one toppled others in a domino effect. Daily life became a struggle for basics: fuel, food, water. Communities, once globally connected, were forced into self-reliance overnight. The fight was now for survival in every neighborhood. The severed lifelines of trade unraveled daily life. The interconnectedness that brought wealth now delivered shared poverty. The world's fabric was torn apart. As civilization crumbled, the true cost was measured in human lives. Famine and disease spread rapidly. Hospitals became places of despair. The most vulnerable perished first, far from the front lines. Refugees fled chaos and starvation. Borders became desperate choke points. Aid organizations were paralyzed, unable to respond in a world without logistics. The psychological toll was immense. Trust evaporated, fear ruled. Acts of kindness clashed with brutal desperation. Impossible choices became daily life. The war destroyed not just cities, but the human spirit. The world's population began a sharp decline. Every death was a universe lost, every statistic a tragedy. The collapse of society was a weapon in itself. Behind the numbers were millions of individual tragedies. When the fighting subsided, it left a world broken and poisoned. Modern weaponry contaminated land and water. Vast zones became uninhabitable. Fires and destruction altered the climate. shortening growing seasons and pushing ecosystems past the brink. Survival became harder on a hostile planet. Humanity was scattered, cities silent ruins. Yet in the desolation, small groups began to rebuild. Not the old world, but something new and resilient. They learned to grow food, purify water, and rely on each other. Community became essential. Survival depended on local bonds. This is not prophecy, but warning. The future is a choice, not a certainty. The path to conflict is paved with fear and division. The path to peace demands empathy, understanding, and connection. Let us choose peace while we still can.